Greetings, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Unit 7 on constructions and scale drawings. We're going to begin with lesson 7.1, page 272 and 273. So our two videos today will deal with identifying adjacent or vertical angles. Our essential question, what can you conclude about the angles formed by two intersecting lines? Now, as always, ladies and gentlemen, you were asked to read page 272, 273. You were asked to take some notes on adjacent and vertical angles, and I hope you did so. There's a few things I want to add to those notes, and hopefully you left a little bit of room like I told you to do in class before you watch this video that we need to know about in geometry. So say you have these two intersecting lines, and sometimes I want to talk about how sometimes these are labeled differently. Sometimes they might just say, hey, this is angle 1, this is angle 2, this is angle 3, and this is angle 4. They just take a number and they put it inside the angle and they refer to the angles by those numbers. And sometimes, geometrically speaking, they label them with points. They put points on these lines like A, B, C, D, and E. And then they label these angles using proper geometrical language and labeling with those points. So angle 1 right here, this is angle 1 that we labeled with the number, but also geometrically, that is angle A, C, E. Now the important thing is the letter C. The vertex is always placed in the center of labeling an angle. So I could also call angle 1 angle ECA if I wanted to, as long as that vertex is in the center. All right? So angle 3, as I'm looking at right here, angle 3, I could call that angle BCD, or I could call it angle DCB, as long, again, as that vertex is in the center. So that's something you really need to know about how geometry labels angles. Sometimes they use that point or that number in the center and say, hey, that's angle 1, or sometimes they use the letters A, C, E. All right, many of you may have already known that, but I just wanted to make sure we all had that understanding. So let's get busy with adjacent angles. You took some notes on adjacent angles. Adjacent angles being angles that share a side and have a common vertex. Remember, sharing a side, let me grab another color here. Sharing a side, I'm going to use red. Sharing a side might be just this line right here. All right? And the vertex, as you can see by this picture, the vertex is always going to be letter F. So as long as it shares a side and has the common vertex, then they are considered to be adjacent angles. So we're going to list a couple of them. We're not going to be able to list them all. I am going to use purple on this one, and I'm going to use this angle right here. This angle right here I'm going to call angle BFC. That's this purple angle right here. And that angle will be adjacent, angle BFC, and angle, well, I can go one of two sides because I'm sharing this vertex F. BFC is adjacent to AFB. It's also adjacent, so there's AFB. It's also adjacent to the one on the other side, which is CFD. Okay? So right there, adjacent BFC has adjacent angles to the right and to the left. Okay? So either these two are adjacent or these two are adjacent. All right? Makes sense? Outstanding. There's a bunch of others that we could write in there. These are just a few of them. But as long as they share a side and are adjacent, I could go this angle right here and this angle here, and I could say angle AFE and angle DFE. As long as you have that common vertex, and as long as they share a side, this common side, FE, FE here, FE there. Okay? FC, yep. Just wanted to say it. See, this FC here is shared with this one here, and the on the other one, FB is the shared side. All right? So those are adjacent angles. Let's talk about vertical angles. Vertical angles, reviewing the definition of vertical angles, angles formed by intersecting lines. So you need at least two. You could have more. And what do we know about angles that are formed by intersecting lines? Yeah, we call them vertical. And those angle measures are congruent. Congruent angle measures. Well, what does the word congruent mean? That means they're the same. Okay? And we'll talk about that as we identify and name a pair of vertical angles. So I'm going to grab some color here. And this picture can be deceiving. Yes, it's the same one as before. But we need some angles that are formed by intersecting lines. So I have this line right here. This line right here, which is line AD. They are the two endpoints. So AD is the line. And it is intersected by only one other line. That other line is right here, BE. Okay? This line here, this FC, that is a ray. It doesn't fully intersect those other lines. So we're not going to be able to use that. So let's go here, and my first two are going to be green. So I'm going to start out with this angle right here, AFB. Angle AFB. There is a vertical angle to that. The opposite angle formed by the intersecting lines. The one that has the congruent angle measure. So when I go opposite, boom, I'm going this way. And so opposite means this angle here. And that is angle DFE. Those are vertical angles. And what does it mean about the angle measures being congruent? That means, let's just say that angle AFB, if this angle is, say, 87 degrees, well then angle DFE is also 87 degrees. They are congruent. They are the same angle measures when they are formed by intersecting lines and they are opposite. Okay? And of course there is one more pair of vertical angles, and it might be difficult to see, but this angle right here, BFD, angle BFD. Well, what is that going to be vertical? You got to go across, and you're going to find this angle right over here, and that's AFE. And angle AFE. Those are also vertical angles. Okay? This line right here, the one of C, I'll mark that one purple. This line right here, that does not fully intersect anything, so that does not count and help us find and name in vertical angles. All right? Hopefully you understand that. If not, you're going to come to class with some questions, people. Write down some questions. Let's go to our first quick write. So I've got this new picture, and this picture can get crazy. So you have to identify and name two pairs of adjacent angles. Okay, so two pairs means I want two angles and another two angles that are both adjacent. So you have two pair of adjacent angles, and then you're going to have two pairs of vertical angles. Okay, two pairs of adjacent, two pairs of vertical. If you need to, what I would do is I would pause this video and I would copy this picture into your quick write. Copy this picture by drawing all these lines. They don't have to be perfect. You don't have to use a perfect straight edge to do it. You can if you want. And then label all the points. And then you can highlight using highlighters, whatever you want, and mark them. You could even do it this way. If I want to say, hey, I've got some adjacent angles, I could say this angle here and this angle here. So angle 1 and 2, if I labeled them, those would be adjacent because they share a line, they share a side, and they share a vertex. That's up to you. All right? Take a quick break. Come back and watch video number 2.